Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. And today we find, the newest cup of the Sept of the Green, Robin Clay, who is sitting in Homid in front of the cup cabin den. She managed to find like some papers. They're like a little smudgy, but hey, at least there's like room to write on it. And she found like a pencil, and she is, yeah, sitting there like in a jacket and the blanket wrapped around her, and seems to be writing stuff down, just that. Yeah, we begin the scene there.
Okay. Um. Yeah, Saoirse will. She's probably doing her patrols, as she's a volunteer guardian. She can't be an official one, but she's a volunteer guardian, and she she'll spy Robin and approach her, um, smiling. Not it's not like a happy smile, but it's just a polite "Hi, how you doing?" smile.
Mhm. Yeah, as she approaches, Robin will glance up. Will like take the time to neatly put the papers in a pile next to her, making sure the grass isn't too wet and everything before she places it down, and will then, yeah, lean backwards to do the flop.
um, before she actually flops over, Saoirse will shake her head. That's not necessary.
Oh, oh, okay. I sorry, Sir Shariah.
Oh, it's all right. Uh,
It's a little difficult to like get the hang of who wants to see like the proper thing and who doesn't, and
I can sometimes go back and forth. She'll just kind of chuckle. Um,
okay. Well, that's
but
good to know.
it it depends on the person,
Mm,
honestly. I don't need it from you. Just showing your throat's enough.
okay. And yeah, she'll do the throat showing.
And she'll run her hand across her throat and smile. So I wanted to take the opportunity um, to teach you a little bit, if you'd like.
Yes,
Since we've
please.
had
Oh,
since we've had some. She gets a sad look on her face as she says this. Since we have had some deaths recently, it's a good opportunity for you to learn about one of the main duties as a galliard.
right. And she'll grab like an empty piece of paper and write on top, um, Galliard and tasks. And she'll literally, like a good little student, sit ready with like pen and paper to make notes.
We as galliards, it's up to us to oversee the, for lack of a better term, funerals of those that have passed on. We death is something that we deal with. Um, I suppose you could say that it's part of the cycle, keeping the stories going. We also honor those that have died and make sure that their spirits go to the proper place. there's a rite called Gathering for the Departed. And when that rite is performed at the wake, funeral, ceremony, what have you, or sometimes it's performed right after uh, a Garu has died, it ensures that their spirit goes to the proper place, whether that's the cycle or ancestral homelands.
What's the difference?
Some tribes have had their ancestral lands lost. So, in order for their spirits to live on, they must return to the cycle and be born again.
I see. And so I take it that has to do with the different beliefs that the tribes have. And the homelands are some sort of a heaven?
Um, she'll nod. The the homelands are final resting place of sorts for the spirits of passed on Garu. One of the most grievous punishments you can give to someone is not letting their spirit go to the homelands.
I see.
And then their spirit will be either bound to something or in purgatory or just in a state of unrest. And even those that don't have homelands, like the Glasswalkers, the Bonars, if you don't perform the gathering for the departed, their spirits will be like that. It won't return to the cycle to be born again.
Right.
So any Garu that has passed on honorably, or sometimes even not, it just depends on what the Sept Elders have to say about those that haven't passed on honorably.
And how can I tell? Like, I mean, obviously
Um,
when the gathering is performed, but if like, I mean, not that I
it's
would do this, but
well, okay, so like, should try to think of how to word this to a brand new cub. There are those among us that have disgraced the nation. They are called Ronin. They have been outcast from tribe and sept.
hmm
But there are cases where a Ronin will help. And in those special cases, a Ronin would be allowed a proper funeral, proper send off.
okay. And
For the most
how?
part, anybody that has passed on that we're going to deal with deserves an honorable funeral, send off. It would be, we would know, it would be a decision made by the elders given to the Galliard performing the rite or the service on whether or not the gathering for the departed would be performed. And it would only be in extreme cases where it wouldn't be.
And if you would like disobey the elders and still give them a gathering, how could they like how do they know if someone has had a gathering or not? You know, if it's performed on on like someone dead or their spirits.
She'll think about that. if I think if someone was worried about being disobeyed, what happens when a spirit when the person dies and their spirit goes, they become an ancestor spirit, and that spirit can be summoned. So if someone was worried about someone disobeying, they could just attempt to summon the spirit. And if the spirit comes,
Wait, you mean that like I was told that there are spirits of everything, and I've seen a few spirits, but there's like spirits of like
spirits
dead
have passed
werewolves.
forward. I
Oh, okay.
She'll
So,
smile.
and then they come basically from these homelands.
They do. You can
Right.
travel, you can either summon them, which is, unless it's a dire situation, is not really something you should do, or you travel to their homelands to find them. But if it's not of your tribe, it would be you'd be hard pressed to get into the homeland of the specific spirit. That's why you'll find if you need to speak to a specific ancestor spirit of a certain tribe that's not your own, find someone of that tribe.
So you can actually visit these homelands, these heavens. Okay,
You can. It's not something that happens often, but you can.
that makes the need for proper gathering a bit more um, obvious. Yeah.
She'll nod. Which and is something that makes it sad that certain tribes don't have homelands, so their spirits cannot become ancestor spirits. They have to be reborn.
Yeah, but if they get reborn, then I mean, wouldn't that be better? Because I heard that, there's not enough Garou to fight. So if all those ancestor spirits would be reborn again, then wouldn't that be better for like the nation?
In a sense, yeah, I suppose it would. I
Hmm.
hadn't quite thought of it that way, but she'll nod. I She'll smile. I guess maybe then it just makes it sad for those of us that would want to hear a story from a certain. There are times I've gone straight to the source for stories. It
Yeah.
hasn't happened often, once or twice, but the
No, but
resource is there.
yeah, I see you need like
And if
like
the
I was
spirit and if the spirit doesn't exist in the Umbra, then that exact story can get lost. Because stories are passed on through telling, and everyone tells their stories a little differently. So some details can get lost or altered depending on who's telling the story.
yeah, I noticed the lack of books, but
She
it
nods.
is probably better when, you can get it like from like firsthand. Wow. So technically I could visit my, I don't know, great 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 grandfather or something like that. That's pretty cool actually. Mm. had a question. Lost it. Damn it. So, which tribes do not have a homeland? You said Glasswalkers and the Bonars?
She nods. Aye.
How come? You know that?
I'm not entirely sure of this. It's something that I've meant to learn more about. I know that Glasswalkers in particular, their relationship to the Weaver has caused a bit of a detachment. The same could be said for the Bonars as well. They've gotten so. The Bonars have gotten so diluted that it's hard to tell where they come from anymore. So they just don't have a place.
Right. She'll write down that she has to ask that next time she sees Cammy or a Bonar. So, is there anything special that we do during these gatherings?
What I try to do is how the gathering is performed depends on greatly from Galliard to Galliard. The Fiona, what I like to do when I hold a gathering for the departed is I like to have everybody share a story or memory of the person that we're honoring. And I tell a story of my own. And if I don't have one, then I find one. For everybody that I've performed one for, I knew personally, so I've had a story for them. Some will just hold a silent vigil, just letting everyone feel the loss and honor the spirit through silence. Some will try and find out more about the person's tribe and try and honor them in a way that their tribe might have if they're not of the same tribe. We did that with one recently, Get Fenners. Well, there are different ways, but one of it's just like, in the human world, everybody's funeral is different. It depends on what the person that died might have wanted. Sometimes we don't always know that, though. We don't know what kind of funeral or wake or ceremony they might have wanted. So we just try and honor them the best way we can.
Yeah, I guess not everyone is prepared as well. Yeah.
Especially someone like Razvan, who is just a Cleath. I'm sure he hadn't planned on dying. No one does. Making it to Adrian, Athro, Elder
I contacted him earlier and told him.
is quite an accomplishment.
Oh,
I've seen
what was it? Yeah.
in my time as a Garu, I have seen a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
Seen a lot of people die before me, lost those close to me. And it's hard. It's hard to watch everyone around you die while you go on. But that is the penance of a Galliard. It is our priority to make sure that the tales go on, that we live to tell them. So if you fight smart and stay alive, you're going to see a lot of those you care about go before you. And you honor them by making sure that their tales live on.
I I really hope not. Like I hope that no one dies. That's
That is always our hope, but unfortunately, that's not the reality.
no. I guess it's I didn't expect Razvan to die. It's kind of shocking. I mean, I didn't know him that well, but yeah, it's kind of strange that you guys are like. I mean, I'm not. I would not deny your grief for those who have gone, but
She
you lived
nods.
death a lot closer than well, I did before. It's just something I have to get used to, I guess. Who's actually gonna do Razvan's gathering? Are you?
That was the plan. You can help me.
I would like that.
She'll nod. It can teach you how to do the right as well. As a cub, you should be able to learn it.
Yes, please. I would like to help and I would like to learn, so yeah.
She'll smile and nod.
So, I mean, I'm sure that's not everything that we need to do, right? Like,
Oh,
we do some
no.
cheerful things as well.
Oh, we do. It's it is our job to inspire, to keep morale up. One of the major things that we do in battle is keep we keep everyone fighting, whether we inspire more rage or just keeping keeping everybody's hope alive, keeping everybody's spirits up. We we are the beacon of light and positivity in this dark war that we fight. And it is our job as Galliards to make sure that the warriors can keep on fighting. And we can fight as well. We do. We are
Second best.
shall not. I. And when there's no. Another thing that we do is we can sort of fill in for other auspices if they're not present. Um, there's the unique duty of the Galliard is to just be versatile. If there's no Arun, we fight harder. If there's no Ragabash, we scout. If there's no Philodox, we can be the voice of reason.
I see. So it's important to learn a lot of things.
I, it's very important to learn as much about everything as possible. And it's
I
easier
heard,
to inspire those when you know more about them.
yeah, I already figured out that it is important for me to learn about the tribes. Also because I have to like pick one. During the fight, I thought I heard you howl. Was that what you meant with inspiring during a fight? Because I did get more
Aye,
willing
there
to fight. I lost some of my fear.
she'll nod. Aye, that's what we do. A gift called Call of the Wild. It's a very important gift for a Galliard to have. And it amplifies the inspiration or whatever emotion you're trying to convey. It makes you less afraid sometimes. Like you said, you lost some of your fear.
Yeah, I'd never been in a fight before, so
I know, and you did phenomenally well.
I
I'm
mean,
very proud of you.
thank
And
you.
I'm going to make sure when I tell the tale of the battle that you get plenty of recognition for it because you deserve it.
I mean, I just try to stay alive, really.
She chuckles and she'll nod. That's all you can really do is stay alive. You try and not make sure that the enemy dies before you do.
Yeah.
Live to fight another day.
I guess I still have to learn a lot about fighting. Oh well.
Unfortunately, you can train all you can train day and night. You can practice, but nothing. She'll just kind of like, put her hands up a little bit and say, experience, it's the best way you can learn how to fight. I went from not really knowing what I was doing, like you, just kind of putting my claws wherever I saw flesh, something to hit, to a very experienced, calculated warrior. It just takes experience doing. So any opportunity you get to fight, take it, because with every fight you become more confident, more experienced. And when you get a pack, that makes it easier as well. Coordinate with your pack mates. And when we all come together for a war party, then it's easier to coordinate the bigger pack.
Yeah, because there are quite a few packs here, right? Is that
Let's
ever
see.
a problem?
us, we got Seekers, we got the Striders, we got Urban Vigil. I think we're just down to those three. We had more. I was in a different pack before. And then I lost all of my pack mates.
That must have been hard.
2 of them died and 1 of them left. And it was very hard. You remember everybody's minds linked together during the battle.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in a pack and you get a totem, you serve a totem, you get that mind link with your pack mates all the time. So you get used to feeling their thoughts, their feelings, knowing that they're just right there with a brush of the mind is very comforting. And to feel that go away when someone dies, or even when someone leaves, to feel that link cut off can be devastating. Because you just have that close bond, that intimate connection. And then all of a sudden, when it's not there anymore, it's hard. You learn to go on. I joined a different pack. Aiden, he's been my best friend since we were cubs. So I had comfort. I had going to his pack when mine dissipated, made things easier for me. But not everybody has that. I've known those that have. I know one person who lost, I think, 2 packs, and he just decided he was done. He wasn't going to be in a pack anymore, which is an option. It's not common. It's not recommended that if, once you become Cleath, that you remain packless.
How so?
Garu are social. We need each other. We need to work together, and packing up makes that easier. It facilitates that togetherness, the unity. And being a lone wolf, it makes you pray for other things, forces of darkness that could take you away and use you as a weapon against us. Do you know about the Black Spiral Dancers yet?
No.
The Black Spiral Dancers are a fallen tribe of Garu. They serve the worm. And they'll take willing recruits. They'll take those that don't have anywhere else to go, that have been so jaded by losing those that they care about in the fight, or they can prey upon those that are alone, get them to listen to what they have to say. They'll take them in, give them a sense of security. And then they dance the spiral, and the spiral can drive you mad. So you come out insane, ready to fight against those that you once called family.
That's
Being
kind of terrible.
shall not. It is terrible. It's sad. I've looked into the eyes of black spiral dancers as they've died as I've killed them. And it's like that they don't even remember who they are, who they were before. It's sort of I guess, a brainwashing thing. Though the best thing that we can do for them is put them out of their misery. But that is one reason why you should not remain alone. You should find those that you can work with, that you can get along with, and be in a pack with them, whether you form your own pack or you join an existing one.
I mean,
My pack is very much family. We take care of each other, we look out for each other. We also kick each other in the ass when we need it, but
I mean, I don't think you need that a lot. You're like,
she'll grin. Yeah, you might be surprised. I'm stubborn.
oh,
I
I mean,
am I am Irish. We can get very stubborn. And there are 3 of us Irish people in one pack. So you might imagine how that could get. But we do care for one another. We are very close and we are a family.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of happy for you. I mean, I don't really know you very well yet, of course, but in a way, like everything you told me, I'm happy for you that you found a place to belong again.
Me too.
I suppose I could join Jacob.
You could, but keep your options open. Don't join a pack just because he is already your family. If I would just get to know as many as you can and see who you work with. A lot of times cubs that are cubs together will form a pack together when they become cliff. Sometimes they find an existing pack that they work well with and decide to join them when they become Cleath, which if that's where you end up in the Striders, Ice and Concrete, then that's where you end up. But don't put all your eggs in that basket just yet.
I'm not. I mean, I've been here for what, a week and a half, maybe 2. Guess
She
2 weeks.
nods.
I still have so much that I need to learn before. Like, I want
Oh,
to
of
make an
course.
educated decision, not a wild guess.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
I mean, Jacob calls me a nerd bird.
She smiles.
I think he's just jealous because I got the study and he didn't. But hey. So, could you tell me something more about like the Fianna?
Of course. Oh, we are a tribe of. I'm trying to think of how to word this. All of us, take pride in telling stories and singing songs and keeping all of that going. Every single Fianna is taught the stories of our people and are tasked with retelling those stories. And if you're a Galliard in the Fianna, you are held to a much higher standard.
Because we're the ultimate storytellers, right?
She nods. Aye. So when you're when you're born under the auspice of storytelling in a tribe of storytellers already, the standards are much higher. I was trained rigorously from the time I was born. But I enjoy it so much. It's I've never felt like this wasn't what I was supposed to do. And the Fiona.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just wondering if that is something that happens often. Someone doesn't feel like, I mean, I'm used to being able to choose what you want to be, and here it's just basically already decided.
I there is there are times where somebody will feel like that their auspice doesn't fit them, and there is a rite called rite of renunciation that you can renounce the auspice you were born under and choose a new one. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. But once you cut yourself off from the auspice you were born under, you also cut yourself off from the gifts of that auspice. You can never learn them. So it is a very big deal to renounce your auspice and choose another, but it happens sometimes. Most of us, we do feel a connection to the moon we were born under, especially those of us that did grow up in the nation knowing what we are. It makes it a little easier or harder, depending.
Yeah, I can see that.
But one thing you can choose is your tribe. You don't have to go with the tribe of your birth. I did because I grew up Fiona. I never felt like I did learn about other tribes and even met some, but I never felt called to them. We are a tribe of storytellers and warriors, and we pride ourselves on being able to keep and defend, being able to being able to really do anything. We are probably one of the most versatile tribes. And we follow stag.
That's your totem spirit, right? That's your totem spirit, right?
Aye. The Silver Fangs have Falcon. We have Stag.
Yeah. So what does stag stand for? What like I've heard about Uktana that he is a spirit of wisdom.
Let's see. I gotta look it up out of character.
Sorry.
I want to say respect, but let me. Mm, Yep, it is. It's respect. I was right. Yay. Okay. Stag is a totem of respect. He is the master of the wild hunt. Um, he represents strength, power, and of course, just wild primal instinct. Most, of course, stag is a prey animal, but he's fierce. He doesn't go down without a fight. And that is what the fauna are. We are fierce. We are passionate. We don't go down easily. If we go down, you will remember us.
Throughout all this, Robin is just making like notes and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably at the end of that page now, so she'll pick up a new one.
One thing, another sort of major thing that our tribe is known for is our dealings with the Fae.
What?
The Fae, fairies.
Okay. I didn't know they were a thing.
They exist. And one thing that we must do as children of Stag is if fairies or their kin are in need or in danger, we must help them.
I see. I did hear of vampires, but I had not heard of Fae yet.
But that doesn't mean that we're all friendly with them. It's tense situation. There's some in our history. There's some betrayal there, but for the most part, our tribe is on good terms with them. There's even a camp. I don't know if you've heard about camps yet.
No.
There's factions within each tribe that serve a different purpose. And there's a specific camp within the Fiona that that deal with the Fae. Like that is what they do. They are liaisons between us and the Fae.
Right. Did you join like a camp or something?
I've not joined a camp yet. The camp that I'm looking at joining is the Songkeepers, which is it is their specific duty to kind of do what I do already, but it's on a grander scale of uh, learning as much as we can, as many stories and songs as we can to keep them going. So that's the camp that I would like to join. Aiden just joined a camp called the Brotherhood of Hern, which is a tribe of warriors, or a camp of warriors. Um, they have to fight wherever they're called to fight, which made sense for him.
Yeah, I could see that.
The drawback of joining a camp is that they do become a priority. And if your camp calls you away from your pack and your sept, you have to heed the call. We, the Seekers, we recently lost our pack alpha. Well, she was our alpha, then she was our beta when Aiden became alpha. But she joined a camp that took her away from us. She has to work. Not really, I guess in secret, alone. She has to work alone, so she had to leave.
It must be hard. Especially, like you said, if we're such social creatures that we need packs to survive.
She has a. That's the thing about camps, is that they sort of become like a secondary pack. So if you have to leave your actual pack, your home, you get taken care of by your camp. But that's not really something that a lot of us do until we're older. And especially, there are many ways to fight the war we're fighting, and it's not all about cutting your teeth and claws on the enemy. There are different things that can be done, different maneuverings, different just. There are some camps in some tribes that will specifically work with other supernaturals, other shifters, we have to get allies somewhere. There are times where we'll form uneasy alliances with other supernaturals, especially if we find a common enemy. There's a lot to learn. And you're not going to learn it all as a cub. I'm still learning things that I had no idea about.
Yeah, well, I know that makes sense. I mean, normal, quote unquote, adults, I guess, also keep on learning, right? Like humans. Why would we
She'll
be any
nod.
different?
She'll nod and smile. Aye. Now, another job of a galliard
Mm-hmm.
is that we can be a counselor of sorts. Like I said earlier, that we inspire on the battlefield, but we also inspire personally. We can keep people's hopes alive, keep them from falling into Hirano.
Rano?
Hirano is a state of deep depression that a Garu can fall into when they've lost all hope.
Right.
And once you fall into that state, it's hard to come back. It is. It's for a lot of Garu, it's a final state to be in before you die. So we do our best to make sure that that doesn't happen. We keep hope alive. If someone needs someone to talk to, we're there. We're counselors.
Well, I guess that's something that I can do.
She'll nod, smile. We do that for each other too. Sometimes we as Galliards also need somebody to talk to.
I was studying to become a psychologist, so I guess I could help there somewhat.
She'll smile. Aye, you definitely could.
So yeah, if you ever need someone to talk to, I mean, I can totally understand that you're not going to a cub, but hey,
She'll shrug. When it comes to certain matters, rank doesn't matter quite as much. If you're there, you're there. And I definitely don't discount the wisdom and knowledge of our younger members. There have been times where cubs have taught me as much as I've taught them.
well, that's good to hear, I guess. I haven't spoken with much of the cubs yet. Everybody's so busy. Even we.
You came in at a time where the sept is under a bit of duress. With that big shadow thing gone, it should be a bit better now. But you'll find that there's always something to deal with.
Yeah, I kind of had the feeling that it wouldn't really stop there.
No, definitely not. But
So, we Galliards take care of the dead. We keep stories alive and teach people through that. And we give advice. And if necessary, we can step in for others. Is there anything else we do?
that's pretty much all the main points.
I mean, not that it's not a lot, because I'm like, I don't know how I'm ever going to do all that, but
She smiles. There have been times I have found myself doing all of that simultaneously. It just happens sometimes.
yeah.
But
Is that also
it's
because...
usually not all at once. Usually it's, this duty or that duty or whatever, what have you, happening at once, like at one time or another, not usually all at the same time, but sometimes it does happen. And we Galliards, we do have some of the most, I think, out of all the auspices, we're, like I said, versatility. So we have the most, she'll air quote, duties of all of the auspices because we are so versatile.
Is that
I
also
think
because of your task as Talesinger?
she'll nod. It's a bit amplified when you're a Talesinger.
What does it exactly imply? I mean, I understand the literal, like, thing that you
She'll
sing
smile.
tales, but
It's the Talesinger's duty to, when something happens, we tell the story, we make sure everybody knows, but we keep an eye on things, on the happenings around Sept, Um, the Talesinger's opinions and influence matters. The elders will take what the Talesinger has to say about either an individual or a pack into account. It's a very social position. I get to know the packs, their members, learn their tales.
So you're basically the information broker.
Essentially, so when I see something happening that is wrong or that can be done better, then I'll sing a tale about it, get people to think. And if someone needs called out directly, I'll do that too. It's usually the job of a ragabash to mock and call people out like that, but the Talesinger has a bit of that too.
Well, I hope you never have to sing a tale about me then.
I hope that all the tales I sing about you are good ones.
I'll do my best. Robin kind of goes over her notes. It's been a lot of information. Thank you.
She'll nod. Of course. And if you have any questions about anything that we've talked about, you can come to me and ask. You can usually find me from on Sept from sun up to sundown patrolling.
I will do my best to find you if I have any questions. I actually did have one.
Okay.
I heard you were gonna sing a tale about the battle with the Bloodbanes.
I
I was wondering, I mean, I've never really done much creative writing. So I was hoping if I could write a story myself and send it to you, if you could look it over and see if I'm doing an okay job or not.
She'll smile. Of course. I would love to help.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you. I can understand if you're too busy to do it, but I was hoping you would, because Rasvan did offer to teach me if you were too busy, but well, it's going to be a bit hard um asking it now.
She gets a bit of a sad look. It is. He wanted to become Talesinger one day, and I was going to help him do that. I essentially was making him my protege. He had a lot of potential.
I didn't really know him that well. I've met him once, and then he was getting into a fight with the other Silverfang cub, Altani. And after that, I didn't really speak with him until the battle. But he did seem I mean, to me, he was kind, but him and Altani didn't really get along very well, I guess.
The Shadow Lords and the Silver Fangs have a history of animosity toward one another.
Yeah, I kind of understood that. Although I don't know the details. But I'll find them out at some point.
I shall nod. You will.
I mean,
rather
still,
than let tribal biases get in the way of his better judgment, and he was punished, and I expressed my disappointment, and I had given him a task to perform. That's not going to get performed now.
what was the task?
I wanted him to find a story of a time where Shadow Lords and Silver Fangs worked together and were successful in their endeavor of working together, an example of unity between the tribes. Especially since that's the theme that the warder once expressed, is unity among all of us, because we're all on the same side. We all fight for Gaia. So I wanted him to swallow his pride and talk to Silver Fangs and find a story.
Then, with your permission, can I fulfill his task as an honor to him?
She'll smile and nod. Aye. If you wish to do that, I would very much love to hear what you come up with.
I will do my best. I'll ask the Den Father. Are there any more Shadow Lords on the Sept?
Not that I'm aware of. I know there's Shadow Lord Kinfolk. The leader of the Kinfolk Council is a Shadow Lord. His name is Mike. He might know something. Some Kinfolk are very knowledgeable in Garu and stories.
That's good to know. And I can ask Jacob as well, of course.
Aye, of course. And the warder, he's Silverfang.
Oh, I've only seen him at the battle, but yeah. I'll maybe if he has time for a cup.
I think he does. I think he would make time to talk to you.
Thank you. I will take on this task and I will make sure that I will perform it as well as I can.
Shalon. Thank you.
Well, I guess I go find the Den Father then.
I should get back on patrol. It was good talking to you, and I look forward to more.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. And thank you so much for everything that you were willing to share with me.
She nods. You're very welcome. And she'll give her like a little squeeze of her shoulder, an affectionate gesture, and head off.
Yeah, and Robin will collect all her papers, put them in probably like a little plastic bag or something, or I don't know, something that she can keep it dry in at least, and is going to find Shadow Lords and Silverfangs. Yeah, I guess it's there that we will end the scene. Thank you, Play, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And this was another scene of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.